chap that, brother, I put one across your bow.
Explain to me where that located. I'm trying to find what position.
I'm from Anniston, Alabama. I was born in 1946, and my mother got me on piano lessons when I was 4 years old. I opened the piano bench, and there was 6 or 8 Marine band owner harmonicas and a couple of old standouts. But my father played the harmonica, so I would get that harmonica out and play that too. So I've been playing music literally all my life. You know. Man, I always had a lot of non-helpful help. Because like we go to, back then we go to country suppers and family get-togethers and things. Yeah. And there was always some old aunt telling my mother, "Now you just better watch Jimmy. Don't let him be like Uncle Fate. He'll be a womanizer and never hold a job and won't be worth a damn." So my great uncle Fate Norris was played with Gid Tanner and the Skilly Lickers, and he was he was a multi-instrumental guy. He had a one-man band. He played banjo, fiddle, harmonica, you name it, he played it. And they were rounders, man. They were Skilly Lickers. They didn't act right for a minute. They were big stars on the Columbia Records in the 20s, you know, in North Georgia there. And so I always had that hanging over my head. I was going to be a mess up because of my DNA from Uncle Fate. And then I woke up one day and realized my father was a police captain there in Anniston, Alabama. Tom Perkins told me later, "Your daddy run us out of town one time." We never held it against me. So you know, I'd go to these, I was always an extrovert, and I would go to these things. If I woke up and heard adults talking in the living room, I'd grab a suitcase, run out there, go down, jump on top of the suitcase, and I'd dance and sing. Try to get a little something, you know, a piece of candy, next thing, whatever. And that's just what I've always done. And I right away recognized that I liked Jackie Wilson and Clyde McFadden a lot better than I liked Bobby Rydell, so I was very careful with how I bought records. That's what I've done. Bouncy, bouncy. Anything with a chorus of bouncy, bouncy in it. So, you know, I started, when I was 17, I put on a fake mustache and went in the Porters and Waiters Lounge in Panama City, Florida, and saw Little Junior Parker. Changed my life.
I guess so.
Changed my life. I heard that man sing, and I cried. That's what I got to do. And I would go see Bobby Glenn, you know, the same place. And I'd sit out there in the parking lot and watch. It seemed like 27 guys with a goatee and sunglasses and case got off that bus and went inside. Man, I wish I could go in that store. And then Bobby Glenn would get off. And I thought, that's what I got to be right there. I don't want to be sitting here watching that. I want to be that guy right there. Because, you know, I would go inside and we had a special table for the other 4 white people. Which is a real trouble. You go in there and you buy a setup, you know, a bowl of ice and a Coke or something, and under the table you got your half pint. You know what I'm talking about. They didn't sell liquor, they sold beer and Cokes, 7-Ups. Everybody had a bottle on the table. So there I was learning all these evil ways right there on the spot. And nothing would held more magic for me than doing that, you know, seeing those guys. Watching Bobby Glenn's band at that time was Wayne Bennett and Jabbo Starks on the drums, you know, and what's his name, Hap, playing that K bass. Hap. Yeah, that's right. And I would sit there and watch that band, and then all the horns would come out, and they'd play jazz for an hour and a half. And I got absorbed into that. And then he'd come out and tear it down. And there'd be a front row of women throwing underwear and motel keys at the stage. I said, I got to get in on that. That's what I'm talking about. And when you get a motel key in some drawers, you know you got something going on. Well, you know, I just be honest about it. That's very few things ever held my interest more than So what do you get? What do you get? You spend a lifetime doing it. I started playing around there and working in piano and harmonica, and you know I played drums, I played bass sometimes, and then the talent scout they had back then, talent scout, came and tapped me and said, "You've been doing really good shows here for about 2 years. It's time for you to go to Atlanta and make a record." So they took me to Atlanta, Georgia, at Kentel Studio in '64, and I had 945s out in the '60s, so y'all didn't even know that. 945s, because back then, a record company, the label was owned by a guy that had a car dealership or something. He just wanted to meet chicks, so he'd have these records out, and he'd help us out and give us a bus and got us on the road. And we'd go in and cut 5, 6 songs. They'd pick 2. There's a new 45. And like I say, it's just a guy chasing chicks. And back then, there wasn't no master because they cut the next guy right on top of me. Same piece of tape. Right. Spit for another piece of tape. Right. So there's no masters to those 45s. All you can get is old scratchy record and play it. But after, you know, touring around the South like that, I realized I got to broaden my horizon. And I moved to Chicago in '65. And I was befriended by Paul Butterfield and Charlie Musselwhite, my old friend, and Elvin Bishop and Mike Bloomfield. They took me down to hear Muddy Waters. Well, my life got changed all over again. I'm sitting there watching the Otis band playing the piano and James Cotton going hard. And I got to tell you, it was nothing like that. I stood there stupefied, crying like a baby. And then we got invited over to see Otis band and S.P. Leary doing a duo in a joint. And S.P. Leary got drunk, 4th song, fell off the back on his head, and Otis band looked around like, kept playing. We went on and did the whole show by himself. I never seen anything to beat it. So that got too cold. I didn't like that weather in Chicago, so I tried New York. It was even colder. I didn't like it at all. '66. Then I went to Miami, and then I went to New Orleans, and finally I ended up in California, where I like the weather, so I stayed. That's all I like is the weather, but I stayed. And, you know, but I work in 29 countries every spring, summer, and fall, doing tours and things like this. And thank all you people that have supported me and helped me. I appreciate it very much. So I have a career. But it's all about singing. There ain't the 12 notes, and all music is second hand, remember that. It's all about a melody and phrases. I've been fortunate enough to get to produce a bunch of people, and most of them come in singing like a typewriter. And that's the first thing I tell them, you know, listen, Lars, you got to break it up, man. Don't make it like you're reading a phone book. You sound like a Nazi sergeant reading a phone book. Tell the story like you mean it. Yeah. We like try to write those in. Oh baby. Like, no, you don't write oh baby. Oh baby comes to you when it comes to you.
Smack, oh baby.
That ain't,
oh baby.
That ain't part of the lyric, man. Get the lyric and then feel something, you know. Ha ha ha, I'm gonna tell you now. Yeah. Not pause.
How do you like me now?
That's what God was saying on the Apple King. I've been down so long, down since I've been to crawl. I've been down ever since I've been to crawl. Been to crawl, man. When you need crawl, to crawl. Yeah.
Don't bother me.
I got to tell Taj this. When I got my first job, when I was like 12, 13 years old at the Rabbit Foot. So Elmo Dane done an audition, which I knew the other guy was done an audition. And they would go and do the audition and would come out, and the 2 white guys was auditioning. They said, hey, man, you did a great job. Here's my card. Call me back Wednesday. And when they believed, they said, wow. But the 5th guy went in, you did good, man. And they had to leave. Well, he taught me. Oh, he was bad. So I'm sitting in the corner with my little guitar. I said, what you do, boy? I said, I do a lot of things. So you play guitar too? Now I don't want to play no guitar. He just taught all the guitar away. I got up and said, I do some handball. I said, he said, you high. He hired me. I did 3 shows a day. They gave me $1.25 a show.
Oh my God.
In 1950. $1.25 a show. I did 3 shows a day. In the Rabbit Foot. And someone called me a couple of weeks ago. I believe, if you check the history on it, I'm the only living soul of the Rabbit Foot today. Rabbit Foot Ministry. I'm the only one.
Yeah, that's serious.
Y'all just Google it. I'm the only living soul of the Rabbit Foot. I got hired in 1949.
Let's move right along, sir.